wish I could take all the credit, but just I have so many people that help me, and the players are incredible. I'm just lucky to be driving the car, I think. I mean, I'd probably be lying if I didn't say we thought we should be the team to beat, and we had kind of circled a couple of teams on our calendar, you know, as possible opponents, and we ended up playing one of them in the finals, you know. So again, you never like to get ahead of yourself. We've been very blessed to have been here several times, and we don't make it a practice when we start the season. We don't harp on the state championship with the girls. I kind of get feeling sometimes they expect it, but we really don't preach it until we get late in the season, before we start drawing a focus to it. We spend the whole year trying to clean up the issues and the problems and things, trying to get us where we need to be so we can make that final push. So that's been our mindset for several years, is that we try to play difficult teams. We want to be in situations where we're tested. We never set, or at least I never set as a goal, I'm sure some of the players do, but being undefeated in a season would be incredible. Personally, I've never set that as a goal because it doesn't seem realistic, although winning 4 in a row doesn't seem realistic either. But you know, we put the difficult teams in trying to get in situations where, for example, we were in a tight game at home in the first round of the state championship, and the only other tiebreak we'd been in the whole season was against Hartsville in the PD pitch-off. You know, so we'd been there before, and this time things kind of broke in our favor. I think we had been able to prepare throughout the year for it. In that game early in the season, we were literally 1 week into practice. Anyway, yeah, playing difficult teams is part of our strategy as a coaching staff, to try and get the girls ready for difficult games later in the year. If I had to say anything about this team, it would be that we got more complete contribution from the team as a whole, whereas usually we lean on one or two, and that's not to say we don't lean on our pitcher. You know, Maddie's a special pitcher, and she does a great job pitching and at the plate. But seemed like this season we had a number of opportunities, or a number of times where, occasions, that's what I was looking for. We had a number of occasions where maybe a certain part of the lineup wasn't doing what we thought we should be doing, but then a different part would pick up slack. We just really seemed to work well that way this year, where if somebody wasn't having their best day, somebody else maybe was. You know, and then I think it probably culminated in that final championship game. I mean, we went out and batted, I'm not sure, we may not have batted all 9 in the first inning, but we went pretty deep in the very first inning in that final game, and against a really good pitcher that we had held us the night before. So I would say a well-balanced effort from the team as a whole with their bats. I thought mentally the kids just showed that they knew that it wasn't over until it was over, you know, and they stayed in it and they kept working, and I never felt like they were they never felt like things were out of hand. So, and I think that goes back to playing that difficult schedule and having a couple of tight games during the year when you've been in those shoes, although we hadn't been in quite those particular shoes. It's just unbelievable. You just sit there in amazement, and it's like just grateful to be a part of it. I mean, again, a special group of kids. They love softball. I mean, I got a number of kids that'll be playing throughout the summer, and then I had a number of kids that are multi-sport. You know, they might play volleyball or tennis in the fall, and then basketball, and then roll into softball. So they don't get to spend all that time dedicated to softball, but when they're there, they give you everything they've got. You know, a lot of these kids will go get hitting lessons on the side. Their parents pay for those lessons and send them to coaches, and so all those things help. And just really, and then my assistant coaches. So I got Coach Jake Hyatt. He does a lot of travel ball coaching at a really high level. His daughter's a Division I player, and he's spent 20 years coaching softball. He calls all our pitches and helps with the hitting for kids that don't do their own hitting instruction. And then Coach Eddie Pittman has been with us. He was coaching with Coach Rogers before I started helping. And then I helped Coach Rogers for about 5 years, and then he retired and kind of handed things over to me. And then I've had 2 new ones last year that came on. Jamie Estes helped a lot with the books, and then just seeing things at practice, that having a female on staff, sometimes she'd pick up on something that I would miss. And then Coach Timmy Arnett had helped a lot too. So I just got a really good group of people around me, and we'll all kind of huddle when we see something and try to figure out what's the best course of action to take. And I mean, it's been working really, really well. And I'm just grateful to be able to be a part of it, and just so proud for those girls to be able to accomplish all the things that they've done. I mean, it's not a lot of kids that can say they played in one state championship, and in a smaller group that can say they won a state championship. But when you get to multiples, it's just incredible. So really exciting. Just so glad to be a part of it.